Hey, welcome. Today we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating concept, one that kind of turns our whole idea of wealth completely on its head. It's called the stealth wealth formula.
So let's just jump right in with a question that, on the surface, makes absolutely no sense. Why would someone who could literally buy any car they want choose to drive something you might see in your own driveway? It seems odd, right? But as you're about to see, it's a very deliberate and honestly a really powerful choice. And this isn't just some one-off, weird story. This paradox, the billionaire with the beat-up, or at least very normal car, it's surprisingly common. And you know what? It's the key to understanding a totally different way of thinking about money.
And look, this isn't just a theory. The evidence is all around us, even with some of the biggest names out there. You've got Mark Zuckerberg, who's been seen driving a simple Honda Fit. The legendary Warren Buffett, he still lives in the same house he bought way back in 1958. Ingvar Kamprad, the guy who founded IKEA, famously drove a 20-year-old Volvo. And Sam Walton, the man behind Walmart, stuck with his old Ford F-150 pickup truck. See, these aren't accidents, they're signals.
Now here's the crucial point you've got to get. This is not about being cheap just for the sake of it. It's not about pinching pennies. It's about a complete reframing of what it even means to be wealthy. It's a strategic mindset that values something far more important than fancy stuff. And that mindset, it actually has a name: stealth wealth. I love this description. Think of it as the art of financial camouflage. It's about being invisible, financially speaking, right there in plain sight. So let's break down what that really means. Okay, so here's the core of it. Stealth wealth is all about having a high net worth without showing it off. The priority completely shifts away from buying stuff and getting social status to something much more powerful: real financial freedom and rock-solid security. It's a long game, not a short-term show. This slide really lays it all out. On one side, you've got visible wealth. It's all about high income, which is used to buy liabilities, things that lose value, all for the sake of status. It's about looking rich. But then, on the other side, you have stealth wealth. The focus there is on net worth, which is used to buy assets, things that grow in value, all for the sake of freedom. It's not about looking rich, it's about being rich. Big difference.
All right, so how do they actually do it? Well, it's not magic. It's a formula, really, and it's built on three core principles that, honestly, anyone can get their head around.
Okay, here's the formula. First up, prioritize assets over appearances. Every dollar you have is a choice. Is it going to go into something that will make you more money down the road, or is it going into something that loses value the second you buy it? Simple. Second, you have to actively dodge what's called lifestyle creep. You know, that thing where the more you make, the more you spend? People practicing stealth wealth fight that. They get a raise, and instead of upgrading their car, they upgrade their investment portfolio. And third, they value privacy and security. Living below your means just takes so much stress off your shoulders, it keeps you off the radar, and that brings a kind of peace that money can't buy.
But what's the end game here? Why go through all this trouble to be so low-key with your finances? Well, the payoff is so much bigger than just having a huge bank account. It's about changing the entire fabric of your life.
The true rewards are, well, they go way beyond money. We're talking about a kind of financial invincibility. A stock market crash or a job loss just isn't the catastrophe it would be for someone else. Imagine the reduced stress, no more pressure to keep up with the Joneses. But the biggest prize of all is freedom, the power to choose your work, to live where you want, to totally control your own time. And on top of all that, it gives you privacy, and it leads to more real, authentic relationships, because people are drawn to you, not your wallet.
Let's just put a hard number on this to make it real. Think about that luxury car payment, maybe $1,500 a month. It feels like the cost of success, right? But what if instead you invested that same amount every month for 10 years at a pretty average 8% return? You wouldn't have a car that's losing value every single day. No, you'd have this: $285,000 working for you. That right there is the hidden cost of looking rich. You know, the investor Naval Ravikant said something that just perfectly nails this whole idea. He said, wealth is the person who is not showing it. Rich is the person who is showing it. Being rich is often just a loud, temporary thing tied to spending. But true wealth, that's quiet, it's sustainable, it's all the assets you don't see. Okay, so this all sounds great for billionaires, but what about the rest of us? How can we actually apply this stuff in our own lives? Let's bring this down to earth and talk about some practical steps for your own financial camouflage. It really just starts with a few simple shifts. Pay yourself first. Automate your savings and investments so it happens before you can even think about it. You need to define what enough actually means for you. Don't let advertisers and influencers decide for you. When you do buy things, buy them for how useful they are and how long they'll last, not for the logo on the front. And get this, start celebrating paying off debt with the same energy you'd celebrate a big purchase. And maybe most important of all, run your own race. Your financial goals are the only ones that matter, not the perfect, curated life you see scrolling on social media.
And that really brings us to the final question. The one thing I really want to leave you with today. It's something to really chew on after this is over. Are your choices, your financial habits, are they building a life that just looks rich? Or are they building a life that truly is rich, fundamentally, securely, freely rich, right down to its core? The answer to that, well, that's up to you. Thanks for digging into this with us.